Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brian Kingsbury. Today we're going to do another Brian Reads the News segment. This one is kind of cool. Look at this website. This is Kerrang.com, and they have an article titled 20 Things You Probably Didn't Know About Billie Joe Armstrong. Get the knowledge on Green Day frontman Billie Joe Armstrong. So that's what we're going to do. 20 things you probably didn't know. Let's take a look. All right, this article was published February 17th, 2021, written by Ian Winward. It says here, who doesn't love Green Day frontman Billie Joe Armstrong? In his honor, we decided to furnish you with a whole bunch of little known or maybe even unknown facts, because we're generous like that. Enjoy. Fact number 1, he's probably one of the first blue-collar punks. As well as being a budding jazz musician, Billie Joe's father, Andy Armstrong, was also a truck driver for Safeway Inc. It was his dad's profession that gave the son his first taste of the blue-collar politics. In the song Too Dumb to Die from Revolution Radio, he recalls these times in the lines, quote, "My daddy was always on strike, the picket line screamed, 'Don't cross the line because you'll be a scab, not a martyr.'" Fact number 2, he has a special, long-standing connection to blue. At the age of 10, Billie Joe bought his first guitar, given to him by his mother, Ollie Jackson. The Stratocaster copy was given the name Blue, and the guitar has been played for part of every single Green Day concert the band has ever played. Fact 3, he and Mike Dirnt go way back. Friends since the 5th grade following the death from cancer of Andy Armstrong, Billie Joe, then aged 10, and Mike Dirnt grew especially close. With Ollie Jackson at work and Mike's parents running a bar, the pair would busy themselves causing mischief in their hometown of Rodeo, California. These times were later recalled in the song Outlaws, and the lines scars, broken hearts, running in the light of the moon, lost souls, bottle rockets. Fact 4, his mum liked her job, actually. Billie Joe would in time feel guilty about the lines, "My mother said to get a job, but she don't like the one she got from Longview." In fact, his mother, a waitress, did like her job and continued to serve diners long after the point at which her son could keep her in the style to which she had never been accustomed. Fact 5, and she played a huge part in the Green Day story. In fact, it was Billie Joe's mother who helped secure her son's band their first gig, then named Sweet Children. The formative Green Day performed at Rod's Hickory Pit, Ollie Jackson's place of work, on October 17th, 1987, in front of an audience of 30 people. Fact 6, punk is part of his DNA. Billie Joe's conversion to punk was sudden. Quote, "I became a punk at the same time that we became a band," he would later say. A moment of epiphany occurred while watching MTV and reacting in horror as the Primitives' pop-punk gem Crash came in 1 place in a video face-off against a band about whom he remembers nothing. In the space of 3 minutes, his thoughts went from, "This is going to be great, this is going to be a great song, finally we're going to get something good," to F this channel and F the radio. "I just can't take it anymore." Realizing that he wanted in on the scene, he remembers feeling like, "I don't care if I become popular or famous. This is the kind of music I love. This is the style I love, and this is what I want to play." Fact 7, he used the "Do you know who I am?" line, sort of. As a young Northern Californian punk, Billie Joe Armstrong was a fan of Operation Ivy, the band from which Rancid would emerge. He once attempted to hustle his way into a sold-out Opposition Ivy show at the Punk Club 924 Gilman Street in Berkeley by stopping the band's guitarist Tim Armstrong outside and saying, "Hey, can I come in?" We have the same last name. Fact 8, he has impeccable timing. Billie Joe first heard Tré Cool play the drums at a concert Sweet Children played at a property in the mountains of Northern California. After performing by candlelight and powered by an electricity generator, Billie and Mike Dirnt were drawn to the sound of a drummer playing in a manner superior enough for the group's two-person string section to widen their eyes in each other's direction. With the two musicians tiring of their own drummer, Al Sobrante, Tré Cool's timing was perfect in more than one sense. Fact 9, he loves one fan more than any other. Billie Joe met his future wife, Adrienne Nesser, at a Green Day show at 815 6th Street in her hometown of Minneapolis on July 4th, 1990. The subject of the song 2,000 Light Years Away from 1991's Kerplunk album, the pair would marry on July 2nd, 1994. On the subject of his relationship and his own fidelity, Billie Joe would later remark that, quote, "I've never slept with a groupie." Fact 10, he might have joined Rancid. When Rancid were in the market for a second guitarist, Billie Joe debuted for a single show at Gilman Street. When asked about the possibility of the Green Day frontman joining the band on a permanent basis, Tim Armstrong laughed and answered, quote, "He's doing pretty good with his own thing." Alright, we're 10 facts into this 20 things you didn't know about Billie Joe Armstrong. If you guys are enjoying this information, please take a second to hit that like button. Let's get back into it. Fact 11, friendship is stronger than a signature. Although Larry Livermore's label Lookout Records issued Green Day's first two albums, 39 Smooth and Kerplunk, the band never signed a contract with the company. With the trio set to leave for Warner Brothers Records, Larry presented them with a contract that ensured that Lookout would retain the rights to the two LPs, as well as two EPs that had been recorded for Lookout. The final clause read, "Lookout Records and Green Day agree to treat each other with respect and openness at all times, and recognize that while this agreement provides specific guidelines as to what is expected of each other, the truest contract is one based on trust and friendship." Next to his signature, Billie Joe drew a doodle of an amplifier. Fact 12, one of their best known songs almost ended up in the vaults forever. One of the songs written for Green Day's blockbusting third album, Dookie, only one didn't make the cut. It was a restrained acoustic number that Billie Joe Armstrong played alone. Its title was Good Riddance, Time of Your Life. The reason for its exclusion was that it didn't fit with the rest of the material written for the record. The song, of course, would emerge 3 years later as the biggest hit single from the band's fifth album, Nimrod, and it would be used as the closing music for both the last episode of the brilliant US sitcom Seinfeld and the soundtrack used by ITV to herald England's predictable exit from the 1998 World Cup Finals. Fact 13, hype? What hype? One of the most remarkable aspects of the success of Dookie was just how little press the band undertook to promote it. In fact, the only interview the band consented to give to a mainstream publication in the United States was with Spin magazine in the autumn of 1994. Less than pleased with the results, at a concert at the Argonne Ballroom in Chicago, Billie Joe held up the magazine and set it on fire, telling the crowd that, quote, "This is a crock of S, and if you believe it, you are too." Fact number 14, he doesn't care for your judgment. Not everyone was thrilled with the success of Dookie. Walking on Haight Street in San Francisco in the early days of 1995, Billie Joe Armstrong was accosted by a character he described as looking like a really early 80s English postcard punk. The young man had an oppositional attitude. Quote, "I remember I almost got into a fight with him," recalled the singer. "He was shouting 'sell out' at me, and I was like, what the F do you know about me or my band?" Fact number 15, need inspiration? Have kids. When Green Day released the coiled and fizzling Insomniac album in the autumn of 1995, many took the title to be a reference to the band's fondness for amphetamines, but the album was named in honor of the lack of sleep Billie Joe and Adrian were getting following the birth of their first child, Joseph, on February 28, 1995. Fact 16, he's used his voice for more than just singing. Billie Joe made his not quite on-screen acting debut in 1997 on the Fox animated comedy series King of the Hill. The singer provided the voice of the character Face, a local musician who was in a band with two friends, voiced by Mike Dirnt and Trey Cool. Fact 17, and that's not the only time he's dabbled in the silver screen. Billie Joe Armstrong made his on-screen acting debut proper in an episode of the short-lived supernatural drama Haunted, playing the role of Irv Kratzer in the episode Simon Redux. Not encouragingly, the show was canceled just 2 episodes later. Fact 18, he celebrated his 30th birthday in style. For his 30th birthday, one of Billie Joe's friends presented him with a toilet seat. It was a homemade affair and featured the logos of bands that the singer hates. Those on the list include Nickelback, POD, and Creed. Fact 19, Manhattan's East Village provided a great source of inspiration. In 2003, Billie Joe left the Bay Area and rented a small apartment in Manhattan's East Village. The purpose of this sojourn was to harvest new material for Green Day's as yet unannounced 7th album. As well as walking the New York streets late at night, the frontman participated in jam sessions in the basement of Hi-Fi, a bar in Manhattan, with local musicians such as Jesse Malin. The songs Boulevard of Broken Dreams and Are We the Waiting, included in 2004's classic American Idiot, are just 2 that emerge from the busman's holiday. And finally, fact number 20, he probably won't read this. Billie Joe Armstrong doesn't read his own press, which is annoying considering that over the course of the past 25 years, Kerrang has written something in a region of 14 million words about him. The reason for avoiding reading any press, quote, "I think it's corrupting," he says. "It compromises the music." Alright, there you have it. 20 things you probably didn't know about Billie Joe Armstrong. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and get in that comment section. Let me know the favorite thing that was discovered in this article. And if you really enjoy this type of content, consider subscribing to the channel.